Hi guys, Hari here, doing another video. This one's going to be a little bit different, so if you came here expecting an informative first-person video, you can probably stop watching because this isn't going to be that. But before you stop watching, I would like you to take note this will actually be my last Heroes of New Earth first-person video, or Heroes of New Earth video for the foreseeable future, because I will be switching to Dota 2. I know I've only been back for a little while, but it's just a good opportunity to switch now because, well, I had the opportunity. And yeah, so I just wanted to let everyone know that. That's the main purpose of this video. Other than that, this video is going to kind of be all over the place. So I'll get more into that later, but for now I only have 30 seconds to talk about picks, so I'm going to. As a side note, normally I don't think watching or paying attention to the text, the chat, and the videos is very important, but this one, since it's kind of a different purpose, more entertainment than informative, you probably should read it because it's pretty entertaining. So anyway, we saw that Dark Green right-clicked Scout, and whenever someone does that, it kind of sets off alarms in my mind to get them to not take Scout, and I felt like a Luna was his best hero, so I was going to try to get him to take a Luna instead of Scout, and I did that here by dangling a little carrot in front of his face. The name of this carrot was Magebane because I figured anyone who wanted to play Scout would also be happy to play Magebane, and so I was able to get him to give me a Luna so that I could take his best hero and play it by giving him Magebane, because I figured if he's going to pick a... Excuse me. If he's going to pick a farm all day carry, which is I figure what his mentality is, then he might as well pick Magebane and not take Scout because, well, Magebane I think is better than Scout, and also because this way I can get his Luna. I guess I could have had my Glacius, so it wouldn't have been that big of a difference, but like I said, I just think Magebane is better than Scout. Anyway, Gray also kind of wanted Magebane, but I couldn't really swap him that because, well, then Dark Green would probably pick Scout, and then we'd have a strong Scout Magebane team, which, yeah. But anyway, this kind of has set off Gray's, well, Gray is kind of... You know, he sees that Dark Green wants to play a carry, and he looks at Dark Green's stats, and his brain automatically says to him, this guy cannot play a carry, I have to win this game now, I am going to, you know, show this guy how shitty he is because he has shitty stats. And stats is something I'm going to talk about today, or visible display of stats. But yeah, so anyway, this leads to us not having very good lanes. I'm going to support as a Luna on Magebane top, and then Electrician can go mid, Hag and Behemoth can go bottom. Hag Behemoth is not really a good lane. Hag needs to be mid, but we don't really have a lot of better options here, except Gray insists that he's going to go mid, and we can have a dual melee bot, because he doesn't really give a shit. All that he cares about is, since we have such a shitty person playing, and I'm going to curse a lot this video, so sorry about that. Not because I'm pissed off, because this video is supposed to be entertaining. What's more entertaining than cursing, right? So, because this kid has... sorry. I was just reading the chat, and yeah, in my head. Like I said, this video is going to be all over the place. Because this person has bad stats and is our carry, Gray has automatically assumed that we're going to lose this game if he does not win it for us. So Gray is on a mission to win us the game and show us how good he is and how pro and how bad Dark Green is. So Gray's going to go mid, and we're going to have a dual melee bottom. Or we would have a dual melee bottom, but actually Electrician is currently AFK. So yeah, this is shaping out to be a really interesting game. And if you've seen a little bit, Dark Green's actually going to promise Hag that we're going to lose this game, which is actually the point at which I mentally check out. And so then some of you are probably asking yourself, well, why are you showing me this video if you've already mentally checked out of the game? Well, not already, but in about 10 seconds. And the answer is, well, because I wanted to make a video announcing that I was switching to Dota 2 rather than just springing a Dota 2 video on you and you guys being like, what the fuck? So that's what this is here for. But also I figured, since this is going to be my last Heroes of New Earth video, it would be interesting to show you kind of like a blooper. Because normally, for me to show you guys a video, it has to meet the criteria of kind of being entertaining or showing, you know, either good team fights, good action, me doing something interesting, etc. However, that's really, at best, maybe 1 out of 10 of my games. In reality, 9 out of 10 of my games go something like this, with either some asshole or combination of assholes deciding to screw up the game, some really bad people just screwing it up one way or the other. And so I figured, you know, it would certainly be a little more realistic to show at least one video before I finish showing Heroes of New Earth videos that goes more accurately to a normal game of fun. And I know this isn't exactly groundbreaking for you guys because we all play the same game and we know what it's like. And I also don't think that switching to Dota 2 is going to change it, which I'll get into a little bit more later. But just that, yeah, this could be a fun last game to show. And also, I just needed some sort of short little game to give me an opportunity to make the couple announcements I had to make. So yeah, about how we got here to this place we're in right now in this game. Stats. So Dark Green has these stats which are like 1 KDR and, I don't know, probably whatever creep stats that aren't acceptable in Gray's image, probably not over 100 creep score per game. Something like this. And in Gray's mind, he sees all this, and he automatically assumes that this person cannot play a carry. And now the point here is, it doesn't matter whether he's right or wrong. He might be right. Dark Green could be pretty bad at playing carry. In fact, from what I've seen so far at this point in the game, Dark Green's ability to do the last hit using his hatchet and whatever is pretty poor. Now, I'm not really helping him out, but there's not really a lot I can do against a dual range lane. I could try to harass the Pyro a little bit, but can't harass the Empath at all, because then she's just going to drain me back and it's not going to accomplish anything. I could just be denying down from half, but again, I'm just, yeah, you know, like I said, I kind of checked out a little bit, so I'm trying to just do my part. Well, I guess not really doing my part, because my part here would be supporting, but just do whatever, and I don't know. I mean, just try to play well, focus on myself, and hope that the rest falls together, because I feel like at this point it's probably not going to. But, no, a man can hope, right? So yeah, about stats. So, in Han, lots of stats are recorded. And I don't really mind that lots of stats are recorded. I think this is actually great. Like, I know my brother used to play some Modern Warfare game in which you could see like all your headshot stats and double taps, etc. Whatever. And first of all, definitely not endorsing playing Modern Warfare, but that's a whole other. I mean, I can't disown my brother because of his poor choice in video games. Although the first Modern Warfare actually was a good game. Anyway, back to this. Recording all these stats is fine. You know, I love to see some of these stats. But the problem is, recording them is great, but showing them publicly to everyone leads to this whole sort of stat elitism, where people see other people's stats, assume that they are or aren't good enough based on their stats, and then are already going to change the way they play the game with them in it based on those stats that they saw. And the problem is, this just almost never leads to a good situation. Because if someone has bad stats to play a carry, and they're trying to play a carry, you telling them, no, you have bad stats, you can't carry, isn't suddenly going to make them say, hey, you know what, I just saw the light. I'm actually not going to take this mage main, I'm going to pick that Luna and go top and support now, even though I have like 0.2 wards per game. No matter what, they're still going to do the exact same thing. So giving you some grounds to be an elitist about them not being good at it doesn't make the situation any better. It actually just makes it worse. Let them play a carry a couple times. Let them hopefully realize that, yeah, you know what, I'm really not very good at this, or maybe they get the practice and they do become good at it. And either way, the stats aren't really helping the situation. So I think publicly displaying stats is not a good decision. Well, having them by default publicly displayed. I guess having the option to publicly display is okay, although this leads to showing off. I'll get back to this in a second, because we actually see that Gray has given up first blood now. So Mr. I'm going to win the game for us because Dark Green is terrible and he's going to lose us the game, has actually given up first blood. And this is interesting because he's in a 1 versus 1 lane against a melee, and he got a regeneration rune, which is actually such an annoying thing to face when you're in mid, and such a great thing for you. So I kind of actually say something a little bit to him, because generally I don't rage at people who are not very good, you know. When someone says, I haven't played a lot, I'm not great, I don't have a lot of experience, that's fine. But when you kind of have this whole attitude and blame other people and say other people are going to lose you the game, and then you go and give up first blood against in a range versus melee lane with Hag, who has a blink, God help you. So the type of mentality this person has is one where he would normally do something like, oh, well, I died mid, I gave first blood because we don't have any wards. Or, well, no one upgraded the courier, I couldn't get my bottle. Like, he would love to blame someone else, and you just know it. But unfortunately here, there's really no one he can blame. No one should have ganked by 4 minutes in the game. We have wards at the runes, and we have an upgraded courier. So, instead, all he can really do is just say, well, it's not a lane that I can win, Malakin's too strong. Okay, well, Malakin is pretty good at last hitting with his passive, etc. So I can understand that it might be kind of difficult to outlast hit him, but you're Hag, and your range, you have a blink, you have decent harassment skills, so harass him, and then get the last hits. It's really not that difficult. And Hag's not an amazing laner, but I feel like it's not enough for you to be able to say, well, I lost this lane because there's no way to win it. That's why I lost. So yeah, there's that. Don't worry, there's going to be a little bit more. But yeah, back to stats. I think I said probably just about all I had to say. I mean, yeah, my item choice here, by the way, like I said, this is not how you should necessarily play a Luna. Nothing about this video is meant to be informative. This is more meant to just be conversational and hopefully a little bit entertaining. So yeah, I think that public display of stats, of all these stats at least, is not so good. Now that's not to say I don't believe that there should be some sort of ranking system, like, you know, MMR or whatever. This is fine, because for example, I play whatever in the over 1800 bracket for the most part when playing Han, and Actually, yeah, I'm going to pause talking about that for just 2 seconds. I keep getting distracted, but like I said, this is going to be all over the place because actually there's a little bit of action going on bottom right now, and I would like to talk about it in a couple seconds. Gray is actually throwing out the Raffle, and yeah, then he dies, and then the U-Kids. And I bet you guys can all guess what's happening next. He leaves. Anyway, Empath kind of charging up here a little bit out of position. Still staying out of position, so I'm actually going to land the stun on her and try to hit a power throw afterwards. I wanted to get a couple attacks off before I hit the power throw so that I could kill her, but then I actually get stunned by the pyro. Mage Bane is going to finish off the Empath though, so we should be fine. And then I'm going to hit a try to hit a power throw on the pyro, but I over anticipate just a little bit too much. Yeah, so that's okay. But Pyro actually, I guess, health potioned up and is going to charge. I should just stun right when she runs into the creeps there, because she would take a ton of damage from those creeps, and the Mage Bane could blink in and kill her. But actually that doesn't happen. I am level 5, so I have level 3 power throw. I could just try to hit her with a power throw. That might be enough, especially with Mage Bane blinking in, but I decide I want to get the stun instead, guarantee the kill. And, I mean, you know what, dying myself for Mage Bane to get a kill is well worth it. Yeah, so in an interesting turn of events, the person who insisted, because of dark green stats, that he was terrible and he was going to cost us the game, actually went 0-2 mid, gave up first blood. Well, I guess it wasn't 0-2 mid. He went 0-1 mid and then died bottom for whatever reason. But gave up first blood and then disconnected. So, I guess the stats really didn't show what he was going to do, or he had probably better stats, presumably, but did worse. Well, I mean, not that Dark Green was doing well. Maybe Dark Green would have lost mid too. But the point is, this doesn't matter. Because this guy actually ended up costing us the game instead of Dark Green, because, I mean, it's already 4 versus 5. Probably not winning that. Especially after the Malikan, you know, farmed/fed pretty well in mid. So yeah, as I was saying, I am over 1800, so I play in the 1800 bracket, and generally I feel, I mean, well, this is a game where I'm 1860 something, and I don't think it has the greatest players in the world, but I think that having some sort of ranking system is fine. But, oh, and yeah, actually, I'll give a good example of that. So when my first game of Dota that I played with some of just the worst people, and even, I mean, it hasn't really stopped. There have been a lot of bad people in my games of Dota. But, you know what? It's fine, because I assume that as I play more games, I'll go up in a ranking and, you know, get to play against better people, play with less bad people. This is all a fine system. And this, you know, MMR is not perfect, but I feel that it works pretty well, obviously, because in Han, I hadn't played with people near as bad as the people I played with in my first couple games of Dota. So I feel that system's working. But that system can work without having to have all these other, not necessarily arbitrary, but not incredibly important and often divisive stats displayed so prominently. I mean, they're just right there. Like, you see everyone, and I mean, I'll admit, I check everyone's stats every game. I want to see who's bad. But I really don't think that they should be there. And so far in Dota 2, there is no display of these stats, which I'm pretty happy about. Although there are other things that I'm not necessarily as happy about. For example, there are no enemy mana bars. I feel that this is a little antiquated. I mean, I know it's not because this was a thing that Dota 1 couldn't have. Dota 1 could have enemy mana bars, but they chose not to. Yeah, I really feel like this is just a small thing that's easy. I mean, it really doesn't increase the skill gap that much. I mean, something, you know, I've gotten used to, even though it annoyed me at first. I definitely can click on enemy heroes, and I don't feel like that's showing or displaying a ton of skill that's especially relevant. So, I don't know. Enemy mana bars should probably be in the game. Also, the lack of concede right now, I guess, is fine because it's just in the beta and they want to get as much detail in the games as possible without having a lot of early concedes. So I'm hoping that at some point there will be a concede option. But what is awesome is just the spectator. Well, first of all, getting to play with all the awesome Dota heroes again, not having to deal with S2 balance, quote unquote, is also amazing. Yeah, the tower here has 23 health, so I figured I would be able to kill it with my, you know, 71, 73 damage, but I guess not. The good news is, yeah, Accursed is actually going to die. I get a kill. How exciting. Behemoth actually runs in here. Yeah, I see the puppets on me, so I want to get the hell out of there as quickly as possible, break those strings. Fortunately, Behemoth stunned him, so that gave me time to run away without getting killed. I wish Behemoth would stay in here, but he actually kind of pussies out a little bit, so we're probably not going to be able to kill this guy. But yeah, so just going to keep talking more on topic, I guess, since I said this game doesn't really matter too much. As far as why I'm switching to Dota 2, one of my viewers, who's, I guess, watched my videos for a while, actually, approached me, sent me a message on YouTube, and said, "Hey, do you have a Dota 2 beta key? If not, I'm getting my extra 2, and I would be happy to give you one." I was really excited by this offer because I've wanted to play Dota 2 for a while. I mean, all the old heroes, like I said, is awesome, and I think it's the future of the genre. So I would be much happier playing it going forward and getting better at it, making videos in it, than in Han, which I think doesn't have a lot of a future, or as much of a future as Dota at least. We'll see. But yeah, so made this offer to me, which was too good of an offer to refuse. So as soon as he gave me the key, I took it, and I've started playing Dota 2 and haven't really played any Han since. I played just a couple games to try to get one last recording because I didn't want to just say, surprise, Dota 2 videos now. I wanted to at least have something that I could, something where I could give you guys information that I was transitioning into this. And so that's this video. That's the main purpose of this, like I said. So yeah. Anyway, big shout out to Benny Talk, the guy who hooked me up with the Dota 2 beta key. Any of you who are not happy with my switch to Dota 2 from Han, you can send him hate messages on Steam. Again, Benny Talk. Yeah, what was I going to say? Man, I kind of lost it here. Sometimes I get caught reading the text on screen, which normally, like I said, I don't do, but this was just such an entertaining game that I can't help it. Major Man's saying he can rape them easy in 5 minutes with the farm he has, but he really didn't have good farm at all top, so I don't really know how that's possible. But he has a vivid imagination. He likes to pick Scout. But yeah, so anyway, as far as the whole switching to Dota 2 thing, I'm sorry if some of you guys feel, I don't know, betrayed, or that I'm, that I've enjoyed your support for a while and now I'm moving on to bigger, better things. That's not really the case. Like I said, I feel that Dota 2 is the future, and so therefore I feel that probably most of the people who watch my videos will be switching to Dota 2 sooner or later, and the games are rather similar, so I mean, it's not like you can't watch one, or you most likely are capable of watching one if you watch the other. So I just feel that that's a transition that most people are going to make, and the sooner I make that transition, the better it'll be in the long run. So again, don't want to feel that I screwed you guys by switching right after I started making videos again for not very long. But, well, this is a good opportunity and I can't really pass it up. So I mean, it's not really going to change much for those of you who watch my videos on YouTube. The same videos, you'll still just have my videos on YouTube. They'll just be Dota 2 now instead of Han. If that pisses you off, you can unsubscribe. I'm sorry if that has to happen. Otherwise, for those of you who watch on game replays, that just means you'll have to switch to Dota replays instead of Han replays, which again isn't too far of a leap. And I hope the videos will be equally entertaining. It took a while to finally record one video because, as I said, most of the people weren't very good, although that's not very different from Han. But I finally did get one video recorded, so I should be putting that up within a day of when you guys see this one. This was actually maybe about a week ago that I probably recorded this. But I just haven't had, well, the opportunity to play Dota a lot. As far as actually playing Dota, it's pretty awesome. I mean, again, just getting to use all those old heroes again is amazing. The balance, just the feel of the game. I really think the graphics look great. I know a lot of people don't like the graphics, but I think it's quite beautiful. It's different than Han graphics, that's true. And also, maybe the unit response times could potentially still be a little bit worse than in Han, which is something that I guess takes a little bit of getting used to. And just kind of like the way the heroes move with the turn speed and such. But it's something I'm fine with. Gonna try to land an ultimate power shot here, and he's trying to juke the mage main, and in the process he jukes me as well. Maybe I could have waited a little bit longer to line that one up. Oh, sorry for the yawn. You know, this was just such an entertaining game, so action-packed, that it was hard for me. But anyway, so that's pretty much all that there was to say for this game. So I really do appreciate everyone that has watched my Han videos thus far, and that has left any form of feedback or positive comments, rating me up on YouTube, anything like this, subscribers, etc. I am going to keep working on videos as long as possible, whether it be Dota or Han or whatever. Well, not League of Legends. Never League of Legends. I don't care how popular that game gets. I'm sorry if I offend some people who are League of Legends players who are watching this video now. But yeah. So anyway, that's about all I have. I'm sure there were more things that I wanted to talk about that I didn't really get the opportunity to, but no, that's it. So yeah, this is my last Han video. I hope that pretty much everyone who's watched this video will switch over to watching me play Dota 2. And if so, I'll see you guys then. If not, well, it's been a nice run.